They say love conquers all, but what happens when you abandon the principles that keep it strong? In just 9 days, rejecting Stoic wisdom can turn a healthy relationship into heartbreak. Let's dive into 9 critical mistakes that can cost you your partner, and how Stoicism could have saved the day. Relationships thrive on emotional balance, mutual respect, and thoughtful communication, all values deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism isn't just a tool for personal growth. It's a guide to building and sustaining meaningful connections with others. In this video, we'll explore how 9 specific non-Stoic actions made over 9 days can unravel even the most loving partnership. From impulsive reactions to neglecting gratitude, we'll uncover the common missteps that create distance and conflict. More importantly, we'll show how applying Stoic principles can transform these challenges into opportunities for growth and deeper connection. Day 1. Acting on impulse instead of reason. A minor disagreement arises, and instead of taking a moment to reflect, one partner reacts impulsively. They snap back without thinking, raising their voice or making harsh comments. The argument escalates quickly, fueled by emotion rather than reason. The Stoic principle of emotional regulation and pausing before reacting is completely abandoned. In the heat of the moment, neither partner considers the long-term impact of their words and actions. What follows is a chain reaction. The small disagreement snowballs into a much bigger conflict. The initial foundation of trust and understanding begins to crack as both partners focus on their immediate emotional reactions instead of considering the other's perspective. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it. The moment both partners stopped reflecting before reacting, they allowed their emotions to cloud their judgment, transforming a simple issue into a full-blown argument. In relationships, this kind of impulse-driven behavior sets the stage for resentment and emotional distance. Day 2. Blaming your partner for everything. A mistake happens, maybe a forgotten promise or a miscommunication, and instead of owning up to it, one partner quickly shifts the blame onto the other. "You should have reminded me," they argue, deflecting responsibility. The Stoic principle of taking responsibility for what is within your control is abandoned. Rather than reflecting on their own actions and owning their part, they focus on pointing fingers. This lack of accountability creates a toxic dynamic where one partner constantly feels unjustly blamed. As blame takes center stage, resentment begins to build. Communication shifts from constructive dialogue to defensive responses. Each partner feels the need to protect themselves rather than work together toward resolution. Trust erodes, and rather than addressing the issue, the focus remains on who is at fault. Epictetus teaches, "We are responsible for some things, while there are others for which we cannot be held responsible." In relationships, acknowledging your role in problems, no matter how small, is essential. Failing to do so breeds defensiveness and undermines any chance of resolution, leading to more tension and emotional distance. Day 3. Losing patience and compassion. As the days go on, one partner begins to feel overwhelmed by the other's struggles, whether it's work stress, health issues, or emotional challenges. Instead of offering support, they become impatient, dismissing their partner's feelings. "You're overreacting," or "just get over it." This is where the Stoic principle of patience and tolerance is abandoned. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Rather than practicing empathy, the impatient partner fails to see their partner's vulnerability, prioritizing their own frustration over understanding. The result is devastating. The dismissed partner feels unsupported and unloved, as if their emotions don't matter. The connection that once thrived on mutual care now feels cold and distant. Emotional intimacy begins to fade as both partners withdraw, unable to engage with one another on a deeper level. Without patience and compassion, relationships begin to lose their warmth. Love becomes transactional rather than supportive, and when a partner's needs are ignored, emotional distance only grows. This is how, in just a few days, a strong bond can begin to unravel. Day 4. Allowing stress to dictate your behavior. External stressors, like a tough day at work, financial pressures, or family troubles, begin to bleed into the relationship. One partner, exhausted and irritable, lashes out over small matters, snapping about an unpaid bill or an unwashed dish, things that usually wouldn't be an issue. Instead of managing their emotions, they allow external frustrations to dictate their behavior. This is where Stoicism is forgotten. Epictetus teaches us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By failing to separate external stress from internal reactions, the partner transfers their frustrations onto the relationship. The impact is immediate and damaging. Instead of offering solace and support, the relationship becomes another source of stress. Arguments increase over trivial matters, and the emotional connection weakens as both partners feel drained by constant tension. When we allow external circumstances to control our reactions, we rob ourselves of the peace and clarity Stoicism provides. What once was a loving space now feels like a battleground, where neither partner feels safe from the emotional spillover of everyday pressures. The sense of calm and mutual respect starts to erode, making it harder to find harmony in the chaos. Day 5. Focusing on negativity instead of gratitude. One partner begins to focus on flaws, constantly pointing out what's wrong, whether it's the other's habits, mistakes, or perceived shortcomings. Complaints and criticisms outweigh appreciation. The positives go unnoticed, and the relationship is filled with negative reinforcement instead of mutual encouragement. By abandoning the Stoic principle of gratitude, the partner ignores Marcus Aurelius's reminder, dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. In a relationship, practicing gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining connection. Yet when negativity takes over, it breeds resentment and feelings of being unappreciated. The criticized partner begins to feel undervalued, questioning their worth in the relationship. This constant focus on what's wrong creates an emotional distance that's hard to bridge. The partnership, once grounded in mutual respect and support, starts to feel toxic. Neglecting to celebrate each other's strengths and positive qualities erodes the foundation of love. What should have been a partnership of growth and appreciation becomes a constant source of dissatisfaction, leaving both partners emotionally drained and disconnected. Day 6. Refusing to communicate openly. When one partner chooses silence or avoidance instead of openly discussing feelings or concerns, issues go unresolved and tensions mount. Instead of addressing the problem directly, they suppress their thoughts and emotions, hoping things will work themselves out. By abandoning the Stoic principle of honest communication and vulnerability, they ignore Epictetus's advice. Don't pretend that things are fine when they are not. Healthy relationships thrive on open dialogue. Sharing fears, desires, and disappointments creates trust and emotional intimacy. Avoiding these conversations, however, builds emotional walls between partners. The impact is significant. Unspoken issues grow into unresolved problems, festering beneath the surface. The longer they remain unaddressed, the harder they are to confront. Emotional distance deepens as both partners begin to feel misunderstood or disconnected. What could have been a simple conversation turns into a larger rift. Without vulnerability and communication, the relationship stagnates, leaving both partners stuck in a cycle of frustration. The lack of openness weakens the emotional bond, and without resolution, the love begins to fade. Day 7. Prioritizing ego over connection. During arguments, one partner becomes more focused on winning than finding a resolution. Instead of working together to solve the problem, they aim to prove themselves right or dominate the conversation, disregarding the emotional needs of their partner. This shift away from humility and prioritizing shared growth can be devastating. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change." When ego takes precedence over mutual understanding, arguments turn into power struggles, leaving both partners feeling unheard and unappreciated. The desire to be right overshadows the love and respect that should guide the relationship. The result is a growing divide, where the partners no longer work as a team, but rather as opposing forces. Instead of learning and growing together, the relationship becomes a battlefield. Love and connection are left in the wake of pride, leading to further emotional disconnection. Day 8. Neglecting self-improvement. When one partner stops investing in personal growth, the relationship begins to stagnate. They become complacent, no longer striving to improve themselves or contribute to the partnership in a meaningful way. Epictetus's principle of pursuing virtue and self-betterment is essential to keeping a relationship dynamic. As he states, "No one can ever excel in great things without first attempting smaller ones." When one person neglects self-improvement, it leaves the other partner feeling as though they are growing alone, which can breed frustration and dissatisfaction. This complacency results in a relationship where progress stalls. One partner may feel overwhelmed by the weight of maintaining personal growth and the relationship, while the other becomes disengaged, ultimately causing resentment to build. When both partners stop evolving individually, the relationship can no longer thrive. Day 9. Letting go of hope and perspective. When the couple faces a significant challenge, one partner succumbs to despair, giving up on finding a solution or working through it together. Instead of maintaining resilience and perspective, they emotionally check out, convinced that the relationship is doomed. This abandonment of perspective and hope is a critical misstep in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Instead of being overwhelmed by the situation, Stoicism teaches us to focus on how we respond, maintaining a sense of control over our internal world. The result of abandoning this principle is devastating. One partner's emotional withdrawal causes the bond to weaken, and without the effort to work together, the relationship is left to collapse. The sense of hopelessness grows, and the breakup becomes inevitable. When we lose hope and perspective, we lose the ability to fight for the relationship, leading to an emotional disconnect that can't easily be mended. The cost of rejecting Stoicism. By rejecting Stoic wisdom each day, a relationship slowly shifts from one of love to one of pain and misunderstanding. Emotional control, responsibility, and empathy, all core Stoic principles, are vital to maintaining a strong relationship. Without them, love becomes fragile and eventually erodes. To prevent this, commit to practicing Stoic virtues: emotional regulation, responsibility, empathy, gratitude, and resilience. These will help you navigate the challenges of any relationship. Love isn't just about feelings, it's about actions. By embracing Stoicism, you can create a love that thrives even in the face of life's challenges.